Hello and welcome once again to Smooth Traffic, the smoothest automotive podcast out there. I'm Jonny Edge. I'm joined by Benny Pierce.
Hello.
And Robert King.
Hello.
We're going to talk about the Frankfurt Motor Show and our successful One Tank to Frank challenge. Before we start talking about the Frankfurt Motor Show, I think we should just talk about how we got there. In case you missed episode 2, we took a Honda CR-V from Heathrow Airport to Frankfurt Airport, and a bit further as it turns out, on just one tank of fuel. It was a bit of a challenge, and I wasn't sure whether we were going to do it at first, but in the end, we did it, and we did it with ease. Robert King, hit us with the stats from the One Tank to Frank challenge.
Okay, so Heathrow Airport to Frankfurt Airport, and then on to our hotel in Wiesbaden. It was a total of 497 miles, which we did in its entirety on one tank of diesel. The fuel economy was 48.5 miles per gallon, which was above the 47 that we estimated that we'd need to comfortably make the trip.
And we did it with ease. We didn't have to try too hard to do it. We weren't coasting down hills endlessly. We weren't driving at 45 mile an hour on the Autobahn. We were going sensible speeds through some terrible weather.
Atrocious weather.
Some of the worst weather I've ever driven in, especially on a motorway. And we still managed to achieve it with plenty of fuel spare. Probably had 80 miles range spare.
Around about that, yes.
Around about that. And then after that, we just filled up with fuel.
So was it cheaper than flying? How much did it cost you to fill the tank?
Well, over here going out, it would cost around about £63 to fill the tank. Obviously, if you're over in the continent and you're doing the same distance back again, it would be around about sort of €60, so £43, £44.
But really, it doesn't matter how much it costs because I didn't have to be terrified about going on a plane. I could just enjoy the experience. That question is irrelevant as far as I'm concerned, Ben Pierce.
Fair enough. So you did about 1,200 miles in the car. Obviously, the quality of the company was shocking. But what do you think of the car itself?
I'm offended.
I enjoyed it, actually. It's very, very difficult to fault it. It's very, very comfortable. It's got great levels of equipment. The fuel economy is good. The new 1.6 litre diesel engine in it is a very, very good choice.
Surprisingly nippy. I found it in a very short time I was in it.
Yeah, decent amount of torque, so it gets that weight shifted fairly quickly. It's as much power as you need in the CR-V, I think. I liked it. I didn't love it, but I liked it. It's very difficult to fault it as a sensible buying proposition.
It seems like a practical car that's got everything you need, but it's kind of lacking that flair.
Yeah,
maybe. I don't know if that's
there's no flair. There's no real excitement or passion about the car, but the people who are buying that kind of car probably aren't looking for that anyway. And there's a reason it's the world's best-selling SUV, and we have to remember that. I did like the seats in the back where you pull the lever and the seats fold away, so the front of the seat goes down and then the backs go down as well and create that huge load bay.
We're going to upload a little video of that to YouTube so you can see the sidey seats and a few other videos as well. So
yeah, it's probably easier if we just show you. King, any nice features or anything about the car you particularly enjoyed?
I found it to be a very comfortable ride. Obviously, the fuel economy was just as impressive.
The economy right now.
My biggest issue was probably the number of driver aids that were in.
We're getting onto this topic again.
Constantly telling me that I'm doing things wrong.
Technophobe.
I did notice again in the brief time I was in the car that it did try to brake for you quite regularly on the motor, which seemed a bit. It was braking too heavily considering the space in front of you.
Precisely that.
Far from dangerous distance yet.
But if Kingy had his way, he wouldn't have any driver aids in any car ever. He took a map with us.
Of course I took a map.
How old was that map as well?
10 years old.
So you took a 10-year-old map?
It was the map that I bought when Ben and I went on our road trip to Rome.
But we had a modern sat-nav. We didn't need a map.
Yeah, but she kept shouting at us, John.
Well,
the map doesn't
I
talk
kept
back to
shouting
you.
at you as well. Why'd you take a map when you've got a sat-nav? I didn't understand that, Ben, but that's kind of King's approach to technology in general, I think. He doesn't even trust the sat-nav, so he's not going to trust the blind spot monitoring system.
Which consistently beeped to me!
Right then, well, there was lots to see at the Frankfurt Motor Show. It's an absolutely ginormous event. We saw some wonderful things, some not so wonderful things, and some things that were just bizarre.
Give me an example.
Well, I can give you an example. A £190,000 2+2 Roadster, voice-controlled, made of wood.
Why would you make it go out of wood?
Well, we did ask that question, didn't we, to the designer?
We spoke to the designer, Peter Sharbo.
Peter Sharbo, yep.
And yes, he said that he was doing it because it was the only one of its kind in the world. He's only made one. It's not a fleet of them. It's just a single vehicle. Apparently they were working 36 hours straight up until the opening of the motor show to get everything done. And he said that even at the motor show they hadn't had time to get the door mirrors finished.
So there was going to be door mirrors, and there wasn't. He actually said to us that he built a wooden car because there was no wooden cars. And there's probably a reason for that.
Yeah, it's a crap idea. Like, there might only be one chocolate teapot out there, but it doesn't make it a good idea.
But it looked impressive. It did look impressive.
It did grab your
Can't
attention.
take anything from
It's
it.
more of a museum piece then.
If you want to have a look at it, go to woodroadster.eu and you can all have a look at it there. Yeah, it grabbed our attention. You'll need endless amounts of resin and stuff to protect it from the...
Ronseal.
Ronseal, yeah.
A
Big
good
plug. If Ronseal would like to sponsor this podcast as well, please tweet us at Smooth Traffic.
So what else did you see? There must have been a decent car. You previewed 4 before you went out that you wanted to see. Did you see those?
Yes.
Well, yes, we did.
Yes, we did. Citroen Cactus M, Ben.
Yeah, I saw your video of that.
Oh, yes.
Again,
yes.
that'll be up on YouTube.
Yep, we've done a little video on the Cactus M. It's going to be up on YouTube. You can all have a look at it there. I loved it. I think it's stylish. It's cool. I think it could be a big hit. I just like it.
It's awful.
I mean, King doesn't like it either, but I think it's great.
No, I didn't say I don't like it. The M grabbed me
better
more
than
than
the original Cactus.
Yes,
Yeah,
precisely.
Okay, what else did you see? There was an electric car you wanted to go and see as well.
We saw the Peugeot Fractal,
Yeah.
which was the engineered by sound vehicle that Peugeot had been pushing before the show.
Looks really cool, but it's got a really big arse.
And
Sort of doesn't look sporty.
yeah, and the interior, which I was impressed by having been made by 3D printing, there were sections of it that you could sort of touch to see what it was like. Quite sharp.
Yeah.
Okay.
You will
Yeah.
literally rip your knuckles to shreds every time you touch the side of the inside of the car.
So again, modern technology upsetting you.
Once again. Yeah, you wouldn't want to sit inside it by the looks of it. You have to be a bit careful.
Looks like a bit of design.
We had to, they had all those bits out on the desk, didn't they?
Yes. Yeah.
So bits from the car you could touch and feel to see what it was like, because they weren't going to let you near a concept like that. And yeah, not pleasant. But it looks cool.
What I did enjoy sitting inside was Julia.
Yeah, the Alpha Julia. Yeah, I mean,
She was lovely.
yeah.
She was comfortable.
I mean, King is the biggest Alfister I know, so you can imagine how he felt about it. I got in the back and had a little look around in the back, because not many people have got into the back of Julia. And
While John was in the back, I was still queuing to get in the driver's seat.
yeah. Well, I just thought I'd check out all the little details and stuff in the back, like the shape of the seats. Is there much room? There's a very high transmission tunnel in the back, so I think you're only ever going to get 2 people in the back. We still haven't seen a normal Julia. End of next year is when we're expecting to see that, according to one of the Alpha guys.
Third quarter was it? I think of next year.
Third quarter of 2016 is when we'll see a normal Julia, one that isn't going to cost £80,000 probably and have 500 horsepower, which is the one I'm really interested in. Not to take anything away from the Julia Quadrifoglio, because it's gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous, and the quality of the car seems to be really great as well.
It's an absolute stunner to look at, and the boot space as well. I was quite impressed by.
Yeah,
Lots
big
of
boot
room
space.
for
Bodies.
bodies if necessary.
Cool. Any other favourites? What was your favourite car?
Of the whole shebang, probably Julia.
Oh yeah, your favourite car between 9 and 10 in the morning. Most of the bloody show.
Yeah, I quite enjoyed. I did like the Mustang, the fastback Mustang.
Mm-hmm.
That did grab my attention, even though obviously we saw it at Goodwood, and the Ford GT,
Yeah.
which I'm sure has got different door mirrors from the one that was on show at Goodwood.
Yeah, that was a good spot.
Any decent innovations there? Any sort of car technology that was particularly exciting? The
Wooden
vibrator?
Roadster, Ben.
I'm not sure that's
Wooden
innovative or
Roadster.
not. I think
Is that not
seems-
good enough for you?
That seems just a bit sort of ancient rather than.
So there was something you would have liked. There was a Tesla tuned by Brabus.
Yes.
A Brabus Tesla. And Brabus just make outlandish kind of versions of Mercedes, but they've done a Tesla and it looked fantastic.
Don't they tune up engines generally, these things?
Yeah, they'll boost the power and stuff. I'm not sure.
How do they do that with an electric motor?
Well, I don't know if they have. I think they just wanted it to look cool, and it does look cool. I mean, I didn't check because
There's more of a bodywork tweak.
yeah, we were in a rush, so we didn't really get time to get a good look around it. But it's got a nice matte blue paint finish, big wheels. It looks cool. I just thought you'd like it a bit more than a normal Tesla.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, I actually had 2 favourite cars of the show. The Honda NSX, which we all know has been coming for years now.
Yeah.
Just every time I see it, my heart just increases. My heart rate just goes through the roof, basically. It's like when King sees Julia. It's just my thing. And the Lamborghini Huracan Spider as well, which looks better than the normal Huracan.
Cool. Best beer? You're on the continent. There must have been a nice beer, aren't there?
You can get a great beer in the Ratskeller in Wiesbaden. There's a selection of fine beers there and bloody good sausages as well.
What were the beers called? Andescher?
Andeschers, I think. Yeah, there was. They all ended with the word
Costa
hell.
beer, weren't they?
Yeah, the good ones end in hell. If you're drinking hell, you're going to have a good night.
Alright, and then finally from the trip, who was the best driver?
Kingy. Officially, it was Kingy because he got the better MPG out of the car. I didn't. He got the better stats on the MPG.
Who should no doubt shouted at the car?
I'll let the stats do the talking.
the stats do the talking, but there's always a story to tell behind the stats, and my gear changes were exceptional.
Okay, so we want to introduce some regular features to the podcast because we think that we might be here to stay. Each of us have come up with a couple of ideas, or at least one idea each, I think.
Yeah.
And we're just going to go through those briefly, and then obviously you can interact with us, help us come up with things to talk about, and go from there, really. Anyone want to kick off?
Yeah, Ben does.
Good lad.
That's what you call dropping someone in it.
Yeah, well, I think for me the main feature will be trying to record as often as possible without Jonny present. So, yeah, other than that...
So the regular feature is me not turning up?
Pretty much. It's like 10 minutes without Jonny.
To be fair, if it's anything like when we used to play five-a-side, it will eventually happen.
Yeah. He'll get injured, lose his throat or something. I don't know. Like he used to lose skill and his legs.
All of that has actually happened as well. We're not just saying that to be funny. That has actually happened.
Okay, well, I'll start off then.
Yes, please.
So, one of the things that I think we should do a little feature on is pointless extras that you can get on cars today.
There's going to be a lot of car tech in this, isn't there?
No, not at all.
No?
The other day I saw a 911
Yeah.
with a bicycle rack.
Yeah, okay.
That doesn't work. That doesn't
okay?
work. Yeah.
So that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Alright, so anything that you think that's provided by the manufacturer, not an aftermarket sale, something that you can get from the manufacturer directly, that you just think, that doesn't go with that car.
It's pointless.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay, that's a good idea. Yeah, I can do that.
Okay.
Well, I mean, I know it's been done endlessly, but the 5-car garage, a bit of a twist. I'm not too sure what the criteria are going to be yet, but I want a car for shopping, a car to take your date out to dinner in, a supercar, maybe 2 cars of your choice. Maybe there can be an electric car in there, or a car to go to the circus in. You know, something that's just your own choice. So I mean, that's what I'm going to try and do. I've had some really, really good ideas for my 5-car garage, and I'll be introducing them on an episode in the future.
I can get on board with that. I like that idea.
Cool.
Perfect.
Get on board. So Ben, that leaves you. What have you brought to this table? Don't disappoint me.
Music, Jonny. That's what I'm bringing.
Oh, music. Okay, yeah.
It's a bit boring, isn't it? Really, everyone does that. But we were listening to The Darkness, Permission to Land earlier on in the car, and that's just a great album to sing along to.
Yeah.
In the car.
It's a sort of road trip song.
Where no one can hear you squealing, basically.
I believe in a thing called silence.
Which you don't get with me and Rob wailing out tunes.
So you're thinking like road trip tunes then, or tunes that remind you of a good time when you're driving?
Yeah,
or...
that's it. I think every decent road trip needs like an album or a song or something that defines it, because it helps you in the future when you hear that song or whatever, then it brings back good memories.
Yeah,
Honestly.
It was the one thing we lacked going to Frankfurt. We didn't have a soundtrack for our trip, really.
We missed out, but we did have Joe FM in Belgium.
We did, and that was fantastic.
They played all of the hits.
Big shout out to Joe FM.
Yeah, Joe FM in Belgium. I love you. Oh, I had one more idea for a feature as well.
I have 2 ideas in one day.
Yeah. Oh,
Make a note of this day.
Best day ever. Petrolhead dreams. Right?
Oh.
The other day I had a dream, and you're going to be amazed by this. Right, I dreamt I was in a brothel in Spain.
Yeah. Okay.
And there was all these...
Sorry, a brothel?
A brothel in Spain,
okay.
Right? Don't know why I was in a brothel in Spain. I was dreaming. You know, anything goes. And then there's all these, like, sexy ladies trying to, like, persuade me to do things and stuff, get involved, maybe have a cuddle, because cuddling's really big in brothels, apparently.
I imagine they were trying to persuade you to leave.
Maybe. But anyway, as I was walking around the brothel, getting myself a drink, talking to these Spanish ladies in silk gowns and stuff, I found a brochure for the Porsche 911 Targa.
Yes, you do.
And so I asked the girls in the brothel, can I drive this? And they were like, yeah. I was like, oh, well, I'll just drive that then. So, that is the most petrolhead dream ever, surely, isn't it? You turn down all the women and their sexy ways for a drive in a Porsche 911.
The women that you have to pay for.
Well, I didn't pay well, I don't remember paying for them. It was a dream. It doesn't have to be this specific. It's just a petrolhead dream. So if you've had petrolhead dreams like that before, tell us. At Smooth Traffic. At the Johnny Edge. I'm going to be really understanding about this because I know what it's like. These two are giggling.
But we will read them out. We will read out your dreams.
Okay.
If you tweet us, we will read them.
Yes.
Okay, well that's about all we've got time for in this episode.
Yeah, it is.
No, it's not. I hear there's a story about lorry drivers. Jonny, you wanted to get this off your chest, I think.
I want to call out Folkestone Service Station for many many reasons.
This isn't about lorry drivers.
I don't care about lorry drivers anymore. I just want to get straight onto the topic of Folkestone 24-hour service station. You disgust me. 24 hours? There was nothing open. I wanted a Wimpy. I went there for a milkshake, and what I got was perhaps the most disgusting thing I've ever seen in my life. How on earth is there 30 overflowing toilet cubicles? That's the ones we could see. Some of them were cordoned off. It was absolutely awful. So disgusting. I've never seen anything like it. It has stayed with me for days. It's ruined my week. It's disgusting. You should be ashamed of yourselves. Honestly, that is no way to run a public business. Never mind a sanitary place for people to get rid of waste. Shit on the walls. Who shits on the walls? Honestly, it's disgusting. And Folkestone, you need to clean up your act. I'm telling you now. You're going to get the worst email you've ever received from me. I'm going to go completely British on you. It's going to be so strongly worded. You think this is strongly worded? Wait till you read my emails. Disgusting. You should be ashamed of yourselves.
Well, I think that's all we've got time for in episode 3.
Tell me about the damn lorries.
I'm too upset. Too upset. I was going to ask King about why he likes to make friends with lorry drivers all the time.
What do you mean make friends with them?
Why are you always talking to lorry drivers on the motorway?
Why am I talking to lorry drivers?
Every time there's a lorry go past, King's like gets excited. If the lorry, especially if a lorry is overtaking us, because he just can't wait. You see his hand come down the steering wheel to get behind the flashing lights, and then as soon as the lorry driver gets enough in front, he just goes, "Yay!" Flashes the lights. Do they ever thank you? No.
Yes, you see them, thank you, with their indicators.
No, they're just coming in. They're not.
No, when
you.
they.
Yeah, because they flick back the other way.
They flick back the other way.
Rubbish.
To say thank you.
They've just done it by mistake. They've cancelled too early and it's gone wrong. They don't care about you, King. You're the only person I know who flashes lorry drivers to let them in. So what we know about Robert King is he hates technology.
Yeah.
I don't hate technology.
Loves to be very specific about facts.
Loves to be specific about
Loves
facts.
lorry
Facts are
drivers.
fun.
Loves lorry drivers.
Sounds fun always.
But I know that he was just as disgusted as I was by the Folkestone services.
The services were appalling.
And who
I've
did
never
it?
seen such an atrocity in all my days.
It really was that bad. The paint was peeling off the walls.
It was like someone had fed it through a fan. That's the only way you could get it on the walls, surely.
It's the worst thing I've ever seen in my life. Honestly. It was absolutely vile.
Well, I think that sums up John's feelings on the matter quite concisely. Johnny, anything to add?
Absolutely nothing. I'm tired. I want to go to sleep. Ben?
Bye.
Yeah? Goodbye.
Excellent. Well, thanks to Frankfurt for having us. Thanks to Honda for the car.
Thanks to Maya for the lift to Mainz train station.
Dankeschön.
Dankeschön.
Vielen
And
Dank.
Folkestone service station. I'm going to write a very strongly worded email to you because you should be ashamed of yourselves. Clean up your act.